space that's going to be there. That I don't know any part of that, but I would think that, you know, if since the FAA just designates who can have what routes, and we can go out of it and do all that, they got a certain amount of clout to be able to say, you want X amount of flights out of Newark, and
Okay, we're live.
Right.
and let's trade that for a few
No, I
months.
Okay, this is the March 13th meeting of the Village Board of Trustees. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. And call for the roll call of the trustees.
Mayor Collocola, Deputy Mayor Doro,
Here.
Trustee Herzog,
Here.
Trustee Contino, Trustee Murphy.
Here.
Okay, thanks, everybody. Here's the agenda for today. Relatively short agenda. I do want to note that we do an executive session at the end. An update on the topics of what we're doing regarding Bob's retirement and the search for a police chief. And we're also adding a topic of when Ian's asked to come on and talk about the Green Guard situation.
Yeah, consult with council.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do at the end of the session. Also, the bottom meeting notice that the upcoming meetings, next Wednesday, we have the highway and the front office budget review, followed by a roll-up of all the expenses, a comparison to revenues, and then a discussion in executive session regarding salaries. Any questions about the schedule for the budget? All right. Let's see. Okay, minutes. Sarah sent out the minutes for the last meeting. Any questions or corrections for the minutes?
I read it, I didn't have any picked up.
Once I did too, and I thought it was pretty good. How about the rest of you guys? Any problems? Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make the motion.
In a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Minutes are approved. Vouchers. Here's the detailed breakout between the A fund, the F fund, and the G fund. You also see there a line for escrow. This is where we paid out money from the escrow account to fund some work that's to fund the planning board. Primarily that was money for additional engineering work required for the house of Steffes. You see that in the detailed print that Mike's looking at there now. And at the bottom are some vouchers that we paid last month. Didn't make it into the report from last month, so you see the second copy of that this month. The general fund is the fire truck, and the sewer fund, that's to pay for the generator and the pump.
No, it was just the pump.
Just the pump?
Just pump station.
Okay. For the South River pump station. You can see on the side, we also had written a check to Lexipol for the police policies and procedures manual. Any question about the vouchers? Can I get a motion to accept the vouchers?
I'll make the motion.
Get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Vouchers are approved. Here's the schedule for the budget meeting we just discussed. And our goal is to have the next monthly board meeting to be the public hearing for the budget and a vote to approve vote. All right. Let's see. Before we go on, let's the Newark historian David Greenwald has resigned, and so Peter Devers has agreed to step in that position, and I'd like to appoint him. Any questions about that? I think Peter Devers is pretty familiar in the area. He's talked a lot of speeches regarding the history of both the town as well as the village. I think he's a good candidate. And so with that, can you make a motion to accept him?
So moved.
In a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Congratulations to Peter. He's now the new village historian. I received notice from the Arbor Day Foundation that once again Newark was named a 2023 Tree City USA. And because we met the 4 requirements, which are maintaining a tree board, having a tree care ordinance, dedicating an annual community forest budget of at least $2 per capita, and hosting an Arbor Day of Conservation Proclamation. I want to thank Mike and his team for that. How many years is it we've been a tree city?
This will make 32.
30, I was going to say 30 plus, okay.
31 year apply.
All right,
Oh, 32, we just got the 32.
that was 32, okay,
Fine.
good. 32 years in counting.
And in reference to that, there is there's always a presentation ceremony or whatever, and they have a presentation ceremony scheduled for April. There's two possible dates. I'll talk to you about that afterwards.
Okay.
If anyone's gonna go, then we need to send a registration for either date by tomorrow.
All right.
So,
I can't make that day. If anyone's interested, they're welcome to go. It's a luncheon and a presentation. It's like a full day event, right?
yeah, it's March 21st at the Armory in Syracuse, or March 28th at SUNY New Paltz, and it's booked for like 9:30 to 2 p.m. So
Yeah,
it's
right.
on the school.
Yeah, I went to one of them. It was interesting. A lot of good stuff there.
Okay. I can check with the Shade Tree Commission and see if anyone is interested with a phone call tomorrow.
Good. All right, so we're fine.
Let's check.
Okay, last piece of administrative business I have is we've got a nice certificate from the Angels of Light for the work we did to help them with their toy collection for the Christmas giveaway. They had a very successful event, as they seem like all their events are. So nice thank you from them. Okay, with that, let's move on. Deirdre's not here, so let's go straight to fire and rescue. Hey, Don?
15 fire alarms, 43 EMS calls. Scooch, pretty sure it was 3 car accidents.
What have I done?
About that, thanks, Matthew. 3 structure fire type calls and 1 brush fire. The structure fires, 2 were mutual aid, and 1 was for a chimney fire. Motor vehicle accidents. One was a severe one where we did have to land a helicopter at the town dump for.
Is that right?
Unfortunately, we haven't heard any updates on that person, but it did look promising for him when the helicopter took off.
All right.
NDP responded 46 times. The 72 responded 6 times. Did not have to go to the hospital at all. And fire department members were on scene 36 times with 79. Mutual aid, fire went twice to other departments, didn't have to receive any. EMS received once, which was actually for that severe car accident. Our 79 was on a previous call, and Amelia, was it that came for that?
Medic 1.
Medic 1 came for that. And that's about it for the calls. Drills, we're doing a brush fire drill after truck checks one night. This weekend we have a really good opportunity for a UTV training at a private residence with a couple other departments. They're opening up some of their trails for us for the day. So we'll get some guys done on that. And last night we did our confined space training.
UTV, so you don't have UTVs, do you?
Yes, we do. We have one parked right out there in that trailer.
Is that right?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
We received that through a private donation from a person in town.
And so what do you use it for?
Brush fires, it's just a little more maneuverable in the
Oh,
woods. We also have it set up that when people are out in the woods hiking or riding their horses and fall off,
You need to rescue for
it's got the capability to carry someone on a backboard. And we've used it for the past two times at the Millbrook Marathon, following the runners on the dirt roads.
Oh, good idea.
So,
Any questions for Don's report? Okay, thanks. Matt?
We're still on for tomorrow?
Yes, 10 o'clock. We'll start the hall. I don't know if there was a preference between you and Bob. Any preference there?
Doesn't matter.
Okay. So I assume a half hour, 45 minutes at the hall. There'll be a lot of intros there, and they'll come over and catch you here. And then we'll finish up with Bob.
Okay.
All right, this is Nymer's coming to do a safety inspection. I think one of the things we'll probably be looking at is the battery lockout capability. of the heavy-duty vehicles. Other than that, I have no idea, but we'll just wing it. All right. Okay? Anything else, Matt?
Nope.
Obviously another successful bingo night. I couldn't make it, but I just drove by and I saw the crowd was.
It's about 120 people here.
Is that right? Wow. Hey, good for you. All right, any questions from Matt? Kevin, anything? You wanna go? Where's the pickup truck? How's it doing?
The old one,
Yeah.
it's out there stripped down, waiting for the auction company to come take pictures of it, and then it'll be posted.
All right, good.
So, waiting on them now.
All right, good. So we'll get that done this year, this fiscal year, right?
Yes.
All right, good.
Yeah, hopefully, by the way it sounded, once they take the pictures, they'll just go over a couple other, things that aren't in the pictures, and then it should be able to go up as far as I know.
This is AAR, Pleasant Valley?
Yeah.
Okay, that's guys who use the hall. All right, good.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Okay, Vicki, you're gonna handle, Officer Witt's report? Since he and Sarah at the, induction for the, National Honor Society.
Well, I can certainly handle the part related to the grant and Lexipol.
All right, well, here's the report.
We haven't really gone over these stats, so if anybody has questions, I'm sure we can get an answer back to you, but maybe not tonight.
What's the speed detail? Do you know what the speed detail is? What is that? It's a new one.
Is that where they wait?
Is that what?
Is that where they sit at the top or the bottom of Franklin?
I don't know. Well, let's ask him more, we'll find out what that is. All right, good, everything else is pretty typical. Not many tickets. We did receive a big check though from the town, or from the state for our share of tickets that were litigated. And I think I need to follow up with Kristen DeFiore. I guess whoever her replacement is. I think they found a whole batch of old tickets that they just ran through the system. So we'd received like, I don't know, how much year a day, like $800 or $500?
It was basically $500.
Yeah, $500. Now this check is like for $1,500.
19,
$1,900, okay.
but it was for November.
Yeah, we're supposed to be getting a monthly. We hadn't got one for a couple of months.
Yeah.
But this is obviously even more than that. So I figured they must have found some tickets. I need to go back and find out.
From the state?
Huh?
From the state?
Yes, what happens is the tickets get litigated and processed here at the town court, sent up to the state, and they take their share and then give some back to the town, and we give some just related to village activity. Yeah. But it's supposed to be more rigorous.
It's usually
Routine.
monthly, yeah.
It's supposed to be monthly, yeah. So I'm gonna follow up on that to see what happened, how we get that back on track. Okay, so Vicki, let's talk about the grant we received from D. Barrett's office, $10,000 for police.
Okay, well, we confirmed with Assembly Member Barrett, Barrett's office, that the police protective equipment we seek is eligible for the funding that she has directed to the Village of Millbrook. And we introduced our plan to the grant administrator at the State Department of Criminal Justice Services. Sergeant Witt has begun working with the vendor and requested updated quotes for 2 sets of ballistic hard body armor, ballistic helmets, and ballistic shields, as well as a partial set for the chief. This vendor has been approved by the State Department of General Services, and it's their quotes are familiar to us because we utilize them in our last attempt to get funding for this. So we're hoping to get their response shortly and then start working with.
So what happened is you were working with the vendor who provides these protective equipment.
Yeah,
And
it's
now
an
you-
approved vendor that the state use. They have a list of them.
Okay, fine. So he's an approved vendor.
Yes.
And then you take that list to the grantor, grantee?
The grant administrator.
The grant administrator, okay, good.
Yeah, the
And they have
Department
to
of
approve
Criminal
what you're
Justice
proposing.
Services.
Okay.
Yes.
And so again, what you're looking to do is provide more protective equipment, shields, improved belt,
In
vests.
the event of a school shooting or a terrorist.
Yeah, right,
So,
okay. Any questions from the board regarding the topics, the things that they're looking to buy?
And this is equipment we've never had before, so.
Right, so it's brand new equipment, yeah. And you're looking to get 2 sets, I think, and a minimal set for the chief.
Yeah,
Or
so
reduce
he
that.
won't be the first to respond, he doesn't need,
Right.
for instance, the
He
shield.
may need to go on site.
So that's that.
So does the board have any issues with that? So we get a motion to approve the processing of that, whatever it would be, a list of equipment to apply against the grant.
I'll make that
In a
motion.
second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So then you and Officer Witt will proceed to execute the order. And what happens is we have to pay it up front and then get reimbursed?
Exactly.
Okay, fine.
So we'll run the quotes by you in case there's any overage, but we think it'll
Yeah,
be in
fine.
the ballpark.
I think it's within $500 of $10,000, that should be okay. Go for it. All right, so Nicole, that's just FYI to you that there'll be a bill coming to pay for the equipment. We would reimburse later for this police protective equipment, this grant we have.
Do you know from who?
I think you do know the vendor.
We do know the vendor, I don't have his name with me
All right, so
their
we'll get that
name
to you.
right now, but I'll
Okay,
let-
and then it'll get taken out of equipment and then reimbursed.
And then reimbursed,
Okay.
right, yeah.
And I don't think it's gonna happen like imminently, because the state will want us to take them a little while to put together a contract, so.
All right, so all I want to make sure is if we buy it and pay for it this year, then we have to get reimbursed this year. So
Right.
if there's a problem, get reimbursed, I'd rather we wait till June 1st to order it. All right, because I don't want it to be going across fiscal years.
Okay,
All right,
As long as the invoice is dated June 1st, you can order it.
dated June 1st or May 31st.
Yeah, as long as the invoice is dated, like if it's not gonna be here
Yeah,
until after June, as long
Yeah.
as it's dated June 1st, then it's fine for next fiscal year.
okay,
But you
fine.
can order it so it's actually available.
All right, that's good. Yeah, but I just want to make sure that all the action occurs in one fiscal year or another. I don't want half in one year, half in another.
got it.
Okay, good. All right, anything else?
The police policy manual, do you want me to?
Yes, talk about it.
Okay, so this was a good week. We concluded the line of duty death policies yesterday. And I don't know if you've had a chance to look.
I did, actually I responded to them, I was just wondering, so line of duty deaths policy basically says, here's the criteria we would follow if an officer was killed on duty. It includes all the coordination, I would say, with other facilities regarding notification and setting up, parades and what the funeral. The only question I had for the guy at Lexipol was, are we gonna be doing all that ourselves, or are we gonna go like to the county or to the state, which has, I'm sorry to say, more experience in this kind of thing, and have them kind of take care of the arrangements?
Well, apparently there's a role that the sheriff's department
Yeah,
especially plays in a lot of this.
Yeah, right.
Because there's almost always, for instance, an investigation.
mhm,
They often take on all the press work. They often take on, not so much the family notification, but there is notifications out. I was surprised to learn this, to the police forces, not only in the county, but far and wide. I
okay,
mean, the Fishkill death recently, police officers came up from Virginia,
yeah, all right.
so there is that.
Yeah, so I'm just saying is
So
that we
yeah,
have
there's a lot
not,
that we can't do.
yeah.
We don't have the resources.
So I think our
to
policy
make
ought to say that we are going to depend on a higher authority, I don't want to say higher authority, but another authority which has more experience
it. We,
to
yeah,
execute those things. And
You
that
want
was my
to-
response to Dick's proposal.
and we were on the same page as you.
Okay,
So
good.
We left that wiggle room. So I don't know, so you didn't send that out to the paper?
No, actually, I was waiting to close on that one because then I want to send to the trustees what turns out to be all the procedures for tier one.
Right, we finished tier one.
Finished tier one, I just need to have the board review it, approve it, and then we will send it to the police officers for them to acknowledge receipt.
Right,
Okay. All right, so when can we expect to be able to send it to the trustees? Next Tuesday?
whenever Dick responds.
Yeah, okay, fine.
I mean, I think it's adequate as it is, but maybe you need a little more.
Well, I want the trustees to review the whole package. All right, so it's about, what, 20 chapters?
No, I meant the line of duty.
Oh, yeah,
The
just,
line of
yeah,
duty.
fine. I'll wait for them to respond to that request I just sent today.
Okay.
And then, based on that, we'll make the change and submit it to the trustees, so if y'all just know it's coming. All right.
Okay, that's great. And then,
All right.
I mean, just to reiterate, there are hundreds of pages of policy, believe it or not. And the process is one where we go over not only with the federal government and the state mandates, which of course we have to put into our policy manual, but we also go through what Lexipol proposes as best practices.
Best practices, right.
And determine, generally, of course, Sergeant Witt wants to adopt best practices. Oftentimes, we already utilize them. But in some instances, we have to say we do not have the resources to do that.
Yeah.
And so then we make it clear where that is and what we expect. And oftentimes, again, per tradition, per local law, the sheriff's office or the state troopers pick up that slack for us. So,
Right.
but it's just, going through that. It's a bit of a slog, but tiers 2 and 3, we are told may be finished by the summer, in which case
Right.
the manual will be finished by the
We're
summer.
looking at about 10 more weeks of work to finish
Yeah.
the rest of it. Okay.
So,
I think it's been a really good exercise. It's very eye-opening to me of all the requirements the police department has. Which is another reason why we need someone administrative that's overseeing the whole thing, has awareness. So, anything else then?
yeah, whether you're big or you're small, you sort of are under the same mandates. It's
Yeah, that's right.
a lot.
And just so you know that the police chief request for resumes is out. I've now got 8 or 9 total. All right. And the process, resumes are supposed to be in by Monday. And what I'm going to do is then, once I've got them all, meet with the deputy mayor and go through them and decide an interview schedule. All right. I'd like to get that going like next week. All right. So tell me later on what your availability is, and we'll force fit some interviews. I expect us to do a first level interview with most of them. There may be some that are not eligible. I'll just call and tell them that. But we'll do a first level interview and then have some come back for a second level. All right. We'll talk about that later next week. I'd like to get that process going, and we're going to start next week. All right. Okay, anything else? Any questions for Vicki? All right, good job, thank you. Okay, Bob.
Yeah, okay. Basically, just some of the highlights. The snow ordinance ends March 31st. We had Out on the Limb come in this month and trim all the trees back on Franklin Avenue
In the businesses, yep.
in the business district with very little disruption. But it made a very big difference, and hopefully that'll last for another 3 to 5 years before they have to come back.
They're still gonna come back and trim those, what do you call it, train those?
Some of the
fruit
small
trees?
ones, yeah, the small
They're
ones.
still gonna do it, okay.
So those are off the buildings, and we shouldn't have to worry about those for a while.
Mhm.
Let's see, we're doing ongoing pothole repair. We did quite a bit these last 2 days. Actually, almost an entire pallet of coal patch. So you'll see those around. Hopefully that's the end of it. We're not going to plow again. We might not have a problem.
All right, that sounds good. Now, how to repair that's covered under CHIPS, right? Funding?
No,
Why not?
because it's not permanent.
Is there a separate category now for auto repair in CHIPS?
Not that I know of, unless that's something new.
Most of the time, the CHIPS money is for something that's got at least a 10-year life.
Right, but last year, the governor added a category, and I think it's a 4th category.
Oh,
Well, let's talk about it offline. I think I've got it in
I
the
haven't
memo.
seen it on the CHIPS
You're right.
form.
It is typically expected to be in the last 10 years. This one was a special effort to make sure people were working on potholes.
Oh, yeah.
You know, curb potholes is not
It's
gonna
not
last.
on there. It's not on the form that they send out.
All right, let me follow up on that and we'll do that. Because if so, I'd like to be separate, go separate.
And it's not that big of an expense, but if it's covered, it's covered.
Yeah.
The 2024 dump truck has been delivered to Hudson River Truck and Trailer. They're working on it right now. I don't have a date of when it's going to be complete. As soon as it is complete, then we will auction off the 2011 and its equipment.
No estimate, like, is it gonna be before June 1st?
No, they don't give us,
No idea.
no idea. They're so, it came at the worst possible time, and they're busy doing all the other stuff, so. The last truck took almost 3 months to get back.
Is that right?
Yeah. The equipment's all there, but just like every other place, we're short, this guy's out, you know,
Is that right?
they're shorthanded
So they don't have
mechanic-wise.
resources, the manpower to work with it.
And there's trucks ahead of it. I mean, you know,
All right.
there's trucks being built ahead of it, so. Hopefully we get it done quick.
All right.
I'm actually going there tomorrow to see where they are with it. Just to make a presence felt so they don't stand back on it. And that's pretty much it, other than the normal everyday routines.
I see you got number 13, the dead cat. Got a
Yeah.
special line.
Big news. Big news in town.
That's a big one. It's all over town,
Right.
Where do we bury animals we find?
underground. I don't want to tell you,
Yeah.
All right, that's a
I
good
don't want-
thing.
I don't want anybody to
Yeah,
know.
it's proprietary.
Okay,
but it is,
Got it.
it's safely buried,
we don't have a special cemetery.
even though we have to dig it up.
All right.
Bob, number 12, when and where was that on Church?
It was a bottle about this big. It was one of the bottles from the airlines. Big thing. Everybody that it was this big broken glass thing. We couldn't find it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
right near the school. Probably a kid took it and threw it down, but it was not. There was no hazard whatsoever to a vehicle.
Okay.
I have one question
Yeah, sure.
about the tennis courts.
Okay.
Can we open them soon?
Well, April 1st was the designated day.
We've had a request to open them to town early.
We've opened them March before, too.
Can open them anytime we want, but again, the weather's still there. I don't know. March, but we can open them up.
The downside is the wear and tear on the nets. Is that the risk?
Well, the wear and tear on everything, I guess.
Okay.
But yeah, we can put them up. I mean, it's
If you look at the forecast, it
All right.
kind of looks like we should.
Huh?
If you look at the forecast,
Yeah.
it's pretty spring-like.
Pretty warm.
If nothing is pending in the next 10 days,
No, it's true. All right. Anybody have an objection with it?
no.
all right.
All right. So Bob, can we open it up?
Thanks, Bob.
On the topic of tennis courts, I got a request to assess whether we should put pickleball on the tennis courts. I know. And in light of the fact that we just raised $30,000 of donations to redo the service, and all the money was donated by tennis players, I think it's going to shake the field. What do you all think? Is that a problem?
I think
Pickleball is
some,
very loud.
Huh?
It's very loud to put in the middle of the
Well,
community.
the problem is
Very
if people
different
are
than
playing
tennis.
pickleball and the tennis people want to play, now they're going to say, well, it's a tennis court. Why can't I play?
Mhm.
Like you just said, people donated for the tennis and this and that. You might have a conflict of,
Well, definitely should be a conflict, yeah.
I'm thinking more in terms of if the people who want pickleball that desperately, then we should think about using the gym. We could use the gym, it's not being used right now. We're gonna have more temperate weather, so we don't have to worry about heating it. And that would be a possible site. The only, we're putting ourselves in an area which we've never tackled before, providing recreation. But other than that, why not use what's already available?
Well, the reason why I'm adverse to opening up the gym is just because like it requires somebody to manage, open the room up, making sure it doesn't get damaged, closing it back up when they're done. It's not like something that any of us can do, right? We need to have somebody identified to manage the operation and be responsible for it.
insurance and liability.
So that's why I said before, if someone comes to us with a proposal that says, you know, here's what I plan to do, how I'll manage it, here's what we'll pay you, that covers our mainly heating costs. I'm interested in that. But anything short of that, I just don't like the idea of opening up for village residents and not knowing what's going on.
Yeah, well, I think that's something that we could, it seems a shame to have the gym lay fallow, and if
I
there's no
agree.
interest in pickleball, why not approach the town of Washington rec?
I did,
person?
and she said that they weren't interested in doing it. I asked
They
them.
were doing it at one point.
They were, right? They were making it available, yeah.
Yeah.
And, what's her name? Danielle, right, yeah. And she actually was interested at one time, and I recently asked her when Bill Greenmeyer came to my office and said, you know, what does it take to do that? And I said, well, what I just told you, I told him, you know, put together a plan, make a proposal, how you're gonna manage it, and we'll talk. But he said, you know, we really can't do that. So I said, I would check with Danielle, and she came back and said, no, they don't have the bandwidth to do it. All right.
Okay.
So short of that, I really can't justify opening the gym, or making it available, and have it, you know, open and close, and people walking through the hall. I just, gotta have control there.
Yeah, no, I agree with that part of it, because they had problems with the basketball, with people using the basketball.
Oh, yeah, and the bathrooms and, yeah,
And the
sure,
bathrooms and
yeah.
everything else, so.
Okay.
It has to be a managed program. It's something the town should be thinking about, instead of just sitting there saying, well, no, you're too expensive, we're gonna close you down.
Yeah. Okay, well, that is what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so then basically I'm hearing the board's not in favor of pursuing a pickleball version?
No.
Okay, fine. Good, that's what it is. Okay, any other questions for Bob? Moving on, Scott? Oh, wait, the band is right here? All right. I don't know why it's here, but let's just do it while it's here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the bond anticipation note that we took out last year for $325,000 to front up the cost for the replacement of the South River sewer pump station. That includes a generator. And project's not done yet, and the idea here was let's just renew the ban for another year. We budgeted in the sewer budget the cost of the insurance, of the interest for another year. And then we would just then make settlement once we receive all the expenses and apply the $250,000 grant we received from Hinchy and Barrett's office. Any questions with this proposal? I think we discussed this during the review of the sewer budget. Okay, so Ian, what do we do to accept this?
You need a motion and a second. This is just a bond anticipation renewal note resolution, as you said, authorizing the issuance of a new $325,000 bond anticipation note to repay the existing one that is going to mature on, I think it's April 26th. And so it would be 1 year term for the bond anticipation note. And again, it would just be motion and a second, and then we'll call a vote.
Okay, just where's the rate?
The rate doesn't go in the
Oh,
the
What is the
resolution. You're just authorizing the issuance of the bond for that amount, or the bond anticipation note.
all right, so do we know the rate, Nicole?
I believe it was 4.
Four, I thought I was gonna say it was 4, okay, yeah. All right, which is up from 3.5, I think, last year, that's fine, okay. Any questions about this ban renewal? Okay, can I take a motion?
I'll make that motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All right, a roll call. Nicole?
Mayor Collocola,
Aye.
Trustee Herzog,
Aye.
Trustee Contino, Trustee Doro,
Aye.
Trustee Murphy.
Okay. So the resolution was adopted. Nicole, you put your John Hancock on there, and we're finished with that.
You are. So I'll provide their documents that need to be executed. This authorizes Sarah as the treasurer to execute those documents. And I'll prepare them, send them to Sarah. Again, we have a little bit of time because this the existing ban doesn't mature until April 27th.
Mhm. Okay, good.
So,
All right, great.
okay.
Thanks. Okay, Scott, water.
All right, February, all maintenance and sampling was completed. We changed all the filters at the water plant, had the generator serviced by Kinsley, and we fixed 1 meter issue and replaced 1 water meter.
You'll see in the vouchers that you purchased, how many, 6 more meters?
That was the registers
Oh,
for the larger meters. They were purchased last April. I think.
all right, fine.
We just put some in last week.
Okay. So the generator's good for another 100,000 miles?
Generator's great. Yeah.
That's very good. All right, any questions for Scott on water? Okay, sewer?
All right, all maintenance and sampling. As we received a new pump station, which is down at the sewer plant, waiting to be installed. We cleared a restriction in our ORF outlet pipe, and we've had a meeting with the DEC regarding the Speedies permit, and we have another one on Monday, right?
Right, come back Monday. Can you make that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. By phone, you find the film. I don't read a picture, there's a picture.
Yeah.
Pump on the left and generator on the right. All right.
About how long will it take to get them installed?
We're still waiting for health department approval, I believe.
That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
That's where Delaware's kind of grounded to a halt.
Yeah.
They claim once they get through that it should be less than 10 weeks. So,
So is it county or state?
The health department, the county.
let's see, what else about sewer? Oh, so we have a proposal for the wastewater treatment upgrade, a proposal from Delaware, $7.35 million, what they would propose doing. We are waiting on a response from Tighe Bond. We responded to the RFQ, and we've asked them to come back to us with a detailed plan. And once we've got that, we've got a decision to make which engineering firm we should opt to go with. As I told Scott before the meeting, I asked Mike Paratikos, is there someone in Dutchess County that could help us make the decision, who knows the engineering nuances of such a proposal, since it is such a big thing we're talking about. And he put me in touch with, actually in the wastewater, what's it called? Dutchess County has a wastewater evaluation crew, whatever, who claim they are there to provide just this kind of advice to municipalities. All right. So I made a call this afternoon just to initiate that discussion, and I'll make sure that they are part and parcel of us reviewing and deciding who's the best vendor to go with. All right. I just feel as though we need someone from the outside to give us an impartial assessment. I know Scott talked very positively about the things Tighe Bond has proposed. We're waiting for them to document that. And then we can have some action to hold our hands and take over on that's for comparison. By the way, Scott, the letter we got from EFC, it went to Delaware. Was she saying in there that they need to update the proposal because it was done in 2022?
I haven't seen.
Oh, you didn't see that? Okay, I'll make sure you get that. I called Robert Flores, and he said this is just typical that they wanted to have the latest projections. And I don't know if that was a whole redo of the thing or just an update of the plan he already had proposed. I don't know.
Yeah,
So I'll follow up on that, but that's something else that's going on. Key thing is we have someone with a competitive bid that's coming to the table. I want to make sure we get the right decision given the significance of this. what else was there? That's all I can think of. Okay, any questions on that? All right, Scott, anything else?
No.
Thanks. Okay, Nicole.
Yep.
Sarah.
Well, do you really want me to read what's
No, that's
on
all
there?
fine. Everyone can see it's a relatively small,
Yeah.
low month. The municipal search, that was for the Hitchcock.
I have no idea anything
Okay,
about
it is.
building department.
They want to do a, what do you call it, when you do a search for a property?
Title
Title search. Right. It sounds like, yeah, it could be thinking about selling. So. And what's interesting is what the search has revealed that there's quite a few buildings on that property, which I guess I knew there were a lot of buildings. I didn't know that it was as pervasive and extensive as it is. But anyway. Now, you always talked about having, awaiting a letter from the inheritors. We haven't received any letter from them with any guidelines regarding future
No, I
use.
haven't heard anything. So we just continue to do what we're doing.
Yep.
Always stop us.
Okay. All right, and here's the bank balances report. Just one thing to follow up from last month's discussion, down towards the bottom, you see the Thorne, third from the bottom is a Thorne Trust account. See, there's $19,500 in there. And so Ian said, since the money is of that value, small value, and since it's been sitting there for so long, we could put it in the same category as the HNL trust, where we combine those three trusts into something that village, we could use for village improvements. But I put a phone call into George Whalen III this afternoon, and I want to talk to him about, make sure he knows what we're planning to do, so that he's in a problem. Because there was some money that was in an account that we were holding for the Thorne building,
Yes.
which was supposed to be for repair and maintenance of the building. And we agreed that as part of the selling them the property, we transferred that money to them, which made sense. And this might be more of the same. So I want to check with him first. I don't want to do it by ourselves without him being aware of it. If he's got a problem, have a discussion before making a decision.
Yeah.
So just FYI on that.
Maybe I'm missing something, but I was always under the impression that once we had type of the building, that fund that we got every year from
the trust.
From the trust was ours to spend, but that once we turned over the property to them, essentially the 501c should be getting that money and using it.
Probably makes sense. I'd like to hear what the LLC's perspective is on that first. We use that money even after the transfer because we still plow the driveway. We were having problems with break-ins, and the police were there. They installed a camera. There were investigations there. So we had ongoing village bills, which I was using this fund to cover. And so this is what's remaining. It's been steady for about a year or so. So anyway, so that's the process we're going to go through. All right. And here's New York class. There's the average yields down to 5.2%. Still making good money. Just see the, let's see, fifth item down to FEMA. That's the reimbursement we got from FEMA for the COVID expenditures. And we're going to be using that money to do a audio upgrade, video and audio upgrade.
Audio view, yeah.
For the meetings in this room. All right, so once Sarah's got a closure on it, the best quote, she's going to come show us exactly what it's going to be. But you were telling us beforehand, Nicole, it would be instead of the screen, a large screen TV.
Yes.
So we wouldn't have a projector, wouldn't have a
No
screen.
projector, no screen, so it would be clear, you can actually see it.
Yeah, and also there'd be better audio.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
There's speakers and actually I think microphones, so you can actually hear everybody clear.
That'd be a big improvement.
We're just gonna store it here.
Actually, Sarah's going to talk to Matt about that. Yeah, I think that would be ideal.
I think the quotes, don't quote me on the quotes, but had to do with a cart with everything kind of stored in one area, and then that would need to be stored somewhere.
All right, we'll talk to Matt. I mean, I think there should be no problem with us making it available for them as well if they want to use it for any events they have. So I think we can share it with them. Shouldn't be a
For
problem.
bingo night.
Huh?
For bingo night.
Yeah, right.
Digital bingo.
Yeah, they should have their own.
Go down the bottom of this page here. She said that She did file all those local laws for the state, and they're all accepted. That includes the STR law. And what we need to do is, once they're accepted, it goes into a, we don't update the actual code. We have a pointer to say a new code's available, you can go offline and see it. What we're proposing is we codify them into EC 360, and that's going to cost $3,800 to do. So what happens is this actually makes it part of the code. Whereas today, if you go in there and you look at the local laws online, you'll see the old law with pointers to this thing was updated. You go hit a URL and you get to what the code is. This will be to just actually put it in the main document. And so we made all these changes. We ought to go back and do that.
It's going to cost that much money.
I don't know. But it's something we can't do. This is through EC 360. So. All right. Okay. Topics. I seem to have skipped.
You got old business.
Let me just see. Yeah, you want to talk about the STR?
Sure. So we signed a contract with Granicus. They're going to be providing several services for us in regulation of the STRs. That will be reimbursed by the county. So that'll be no fee for us. Had a few initial calls with them. Basically, the first step with Granicus is to get them a file of all the parcels in the village. So we're working with the town assessor to get that information. The assessors have access to Excel versions of all the parcels. So that's sort of step one. Once they get all of the information they need, they can basically get set up and start monitoring the Airbnbs and VRBOs of the world in making sure that all of the operating STRs in the village are in compliance with the local law. So that's in progress.
Okay, good. The permit form is about ready, I think, to go online. And so what Sarah was saying, that we should tell everyone that probably towards the end of this month, we'll make an announcement and say the permit is available and it's time to start coming in and applying for a permit. Okay. Justin, what's his last name? Justin, something to see why.
Noyes.
Yeah, right, okay. Is all set with all of the personnel requirements to get on board as an employee, part-time to do the inspections. And so I expect that to happen very quickly, like starting in April.
Just real quick on that too. On the initial call I had with Granicus, they provided me some initial data for the village of Millbrook. I let the mayor know about it, but a couple interesting kind of factoids that they had. This is as of probably the end of February, the beginning of March. There was 14 unique STRs in the village. And in terms of the fee, we're charging $1,000 per 2 years. We had gotten complaints that it was too high, and the gentleman I spoke to from Granicus, they do an analysis of the average nightly cost of each STR, and ours was, I'm going to say, it was around $250 per night. And based on their analysis of municipal clients all over the country, it was a multiple of the average cost per night on a monthly basis. And so basically what he was saying is that $500 per year is sort of right at where we should be. So that was good to hear from him. And I can pass along some of the other data from them as well. It was interesting.
All right, good. How long does it take once you get the parcel information to them for them to be online? Is it a big deal for them to make that?
I don't think it's a big deal.
All right, good.
No.
All right. All right, any more questions for Peter regarding the STR? All right, so we're going to target this month with a big announcement. Okay, Trustee Herzog.
Not a whole lot to report. There's a possible shade tree meeting next Monday, March 18th at 10 o'clock Since I was away, I have to confirm with the members of the board to make sure they're available, and that's still on. Just wanted to make that announcement for now.
Okay.
It's not official, and once I get contact with all of the Shade Tree members, then I'll verify that. We'll be discussing our possible Arbor Day activities, tree inspections that have to be done going forward for taking down some dead trees that we've been made aware of before the winter, and we will be taken care of soon. And that's pretty much about
Can
it.
you make sure that the one on Elm Drive that we looked at last year is checked again? I'm kind of worried based on what Bob told me about how far he can reach his hand up into the trunk.
Oh, yeah,
Sounds like it's
okay, I know
getting
what you're
worse.
saying.
So, okay, good.
Okay, yeah, and in terms of tree inspections, I also wanted to discuss, getting a couple of other bids from vendors so that we can establish quotes for the tree plantings along Franklin Avenue, which we're gonna get done this spring.
Okay, good.
Summer, so.
Yep.
We'll get that straight.
What is that kind of poised to happen?
Well, I have one bid in already that I have from a local grower, and I want to get at least 2 more bids in from people, and I want to try to do it on 2 separate things so that someone can bid on planting and someone can bid on growing and not necessarily have it joined together.
Oh, okay,
Okay?
all right.
And anticipated completion?
Anticipated tree planting should be sometime in May, okay? And that would be when we'd be shooting for,
Okay.
May. And in terms of the highway, the sidewalk project itself, Tim and myself met along with representatives from Optimum to look at the pit that has to be replaced.
Yeah.
And they basically said they can do that as soon as we can get a specific date on when the work is gonna be done on the ramp and coordinate with Sun.
Yeah, they're very cooperative. They
Construction.
said, let us know when you're gonna be there, and we'll be there, and we'll do the work
We'll
in
do
parallel
the
with
work
the concrete
and
guys.
make sure it all works together. And I got a note saying that today, that from Renia, saying that the insurance for covering the project, including the ramp that still has to be completed, has expired.
Yeah, I'll take care of it.
And we're gonna have to update
Yeah, I'll do
the
that.
insurance on that project before we can go forward.
Okay,
So
Good.
That's what, and that's pretty much all I have for now.
Okay.
Questions from trustees about it.
all right, Pat?
Got a couple prices from, for the sidewalk addition at the top of the Franklin Avenue.
All right, good.
So to attach to the maple, I gotta get one more though.
What's the price running at? Can you tell us, or we should wait till you get the 3?
I should wait till I get
All
all
right,
3. I
fine.
have to,
Okay.
I don't wanna.
Yes, that's right.
You know,
That's
spoil
right.
it for somebody else.
Good.
And, but I'm very pleased with the prices
Oh, good.
so
All right,
far,
all right.
like, I think you guys will be too, and, so I'm gonna
All
get
right.
one more, and then also I got quotes from the 3 other masons too, or that, well, 2 right now, but one more I'm gonna get for sidewalk repairs like you asked, or like
Okay.
individual sidewalks. So if we ever went through, I told them that if we get like 5 or 6 of them, then we'll mark them out and then they can come through, break
Okay.
them up and
All right.
new ones for us.
Well, I just talked to Bob about it today. Bob, you're gonna go out with your guys and do the ones we talked about on Franklin, right? And then there's one on Elm. So we know of 5 right now we wanna get replaced. And Bob's gonna look and see whether we can start doing that this month. That's why I asked, and then Bob's gonna go back and see if the vendor's available for that.
Okay.
But yeah, so we know that, that's good to have a quote, just in case if we ever get into any large scale, repairs.
All right, very good.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, anything else?
No.
Vicky?
I just have 2 quick things. I joined Mayor Collocola, Trustee Murphy, and the RI Administrator Osborn at a press conference with the State Senator Vinci and State Assemblyman Barrett at our wastewater treatment plant. They delivered ceremonial checks to basically acknowledge the $250,000 grant that they shared with us. This is legislature directed money, so it's highly competitive, but it's solely at the discretion of the members of the legislature, and it was a pretty big call. So we're very grateful for that, and I think they like to be able to do the press event, and they're great, that they got a good turnout. Also, just a couple of updates on the EV charger usage. We, as predicted, it has fallen off some since the holidays, but over the last 6 months, we have had 93 charging sessions, 35 unique drivers, averaging 27 hours each at the port, and about $705 has been spent on charging. Want to thank Bob for posting the signs alerting visitors and residents of the EV chargers at the on Franklin Avenue on the lower part and on the upper part. And Central Hudson has also published a case study on our strategy for using the available incentives to get them installed in Millbrook, which we hope to will publicize that we now have the chargers available in Millbrook. So they're being used, and I think people like them. So, and
It's a good location too. I think.
yeah, and if they're staying here 3 hours to get their car charged, they're doing something.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
that's,
sure. All right, good.
so that's all.
All right, thanks. Two things on my mind. First off, just we got a preliminary notice from the county, the bridge repair. We're gonna start early May 1st, so like mid-September, the road may be shut down. We'll get a more formal announcement from them soon. That's what they're targeting right now. I sent a note to Perry Harshlick at the school to let them know, so that they can get a bus company ready for that. Because we're going to do a rerouting, around that bridge on Stanford Avenue. All right, so May 1st to like mid-September is roughly what they're saying. And that road will be shut down. And just back on the wastewater treatment plant, I did it last year. They all said no, but I'm going to reapply to Schumer and Gillibrand and Ryan for is it member money? I'm going to go for.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's called member money. Just to apply that to them for any additional money we can get for the wastewater treatment plant. And I'm asking a minimum of $2 million until the project is 7.3, and we'll see what they say. All they can do is say no, but I'm going to go through that process again this year, just in case. Might shake out.
Yeah, and I saw on the line from a different organization where they just published what they've done for the Mid-Hudson area, both of those legislators.
Mm-hmm.
And they specifically listed a couple of municipalities that are in Dutchess County that got $1 million, $2 million for projects. And, that's part of what they want.
Yeah, $1 million here, $1 million there before you know it.
Yeah, no, they want to hang their hat on that, but
Yeah.
that's great.
And it's all online with the portal, and so we'll I'll look at the process and just get our name on the list anyway.
Yeah, because we're going forward as we move with more climate smart communities, potential projects coming up. That's something that we're going to want to take advantage of if we can.
Right.
Whether they're smaller things only for $10,000 or $20,000, or they're huge things like the wastewater treatment.
Right. And by the way, Pat, the county's going to be setting up a meeting with us to discuss the process for the community development block grant application. So I'm going to try to make it available for you that you can join me. Because I'd like you to be with me when we make an application for phases 3 and 4 of the sidewalk improvement project on the north side of Franklin in the business district.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming up. I'll let you know as soon as I hear.
Just as soon as you know, give me a date.
Yeah, I
I'll
will.
make my space available.
Great.
We may want to have ready to attend that meeting also, because
Well, the first meeting I think is just a general, here's how the program works.
Oh, okay, all right.
So we'll do that one, just the two of us, and then we'll figure out how to go from there.
Yeah, because the estimates we had for the north side of the project are gonna have to be redone.
Right.
And by Renia, and, more specifics have to be ironed out. So if you're gonna be sitting down talking with the county, I assume that'll include my priorities.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, we're not to there yet, this is just to find out how the process works.
Okay,
So I just want that to be Pat and myself.
sure, all right.
Okay, any other topics to discuss? Any comments from the public? Judith? All right, so I got a note here, don't close the meeting, okay, don't adjourn the meeting. I'd like to make a motion, we'll go into executive session. Is there a second? All's in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'd like the general public to leave. Nicole, you can take your stuff.